No, no, I didn't hear about that. The 60-year-old breakdancer? No. Holy shit. Why the fuck does he at that point, I would not even wanna see my children if they're calling you a deadbeat. Damn, dude. So this is the dude? Wow, dude. I don't understand, like, just because you can't pay something back, like, you get put in jail? Like, I don't understand that, like, oh, okay.
Guys, again.
That's her?
In my family when I was little, and he like went on to become a pretty famous break dancer. And I made a video that was like very funny, tongue in cheek about that.
Leslie Alden? Wow. Damn, dude. That's fucked up. So he has to pay $12,000 a month forever now? What about alimony? Is that forever? Yeah. Maybe your body was like strengthened by the cold or whatever. I don't know. Yo, dog, it's your sister at that dude's place, dog. Is she wearing the choker again, or is she done with that, dog? Huh? What do you think about women dressing as cats for Halloween, dog? dude. It's just Halloween, dog. Man. La, la, la. Mm. Huh. What? No.
All right, today I want to talk about why
Yeah, this guy's pretty funny.
the age pill is so brutal and why dating when you get older just sucks if you have no experience. If you have had zero experience with women, you have never been intimate, close, none of that, dating as you get older will be hell. Because, although I'm young, you know, I see that like it's so weird, any female I've ever talked to, overheard, because usually like I'll listen to people talking and stuff because I got nothing better to do, whether it be in school. Those are mostly in school, like especially in college. I had this class, this psychology class, my first year, and I would always get there super early because I had this thought. I was like, oh, I'm gonna show the teacher I really care. I'm gonna show up early to make him know that I care about the class and that I'm eager to learn. It's just whatever. But that's the way I used to think. I used to be like, like, oh, I'm gonna make sure he knows I care about the class. I'm gonna give it my all. And I would show up early, and these two girls would sit behind me. They would show up early too, and all they would do is just complain about their ex-boyfriends. That's all they would do is complain about their ex-boyfriends. And it seems to me, teen love. I think that's the most important thing. If you miss out on that, you're missing out on a huge. development stage. Because I notice, when the whole talk of their exes, first off, it seems like, anyone you date, it seems like their exes will just live in their heads rent free. They'll bring it up. They'll be like, "Oh, I remember my ex did this to me. Thank God you're not like that," and stuff like that. I hear people talk about that shit all the time. I had a friend who broke up with his girlfriend because she wouldn't stop complaining about her ex. And it's just like seems like it's just rent free for them, and that newness phase of the whole the whole teen love thing, it's just gone. It is just completely gone. And the brutal part about teen love is you can't make that up. Once you're past a certain age, you can't go back. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't have a time machine, go back to high school, be a kid again. You can't do that.
Dog.
You can't. It's impossible. And you can't make up for it too. I think college is like, because, I used to think like, oh, because I had, at the time, I had friends who got their first relationships when they were 18, 19. And I was thinking like, oh, maybe there's a girl out there who's never dated before, and she's gonna love me for who I am. And no, there wasn't that. And it also blows my mind too, because like I just said, like it seems like every female like I've talked to, known, any of that, just it seems like they've all had boyfriends or have them currently. And it just doesn't make any sense to me, because I know there are so many guys who are like me, who are in my shoes, who have never, ever dated, never had a relationship before. It's like, how does that even happen? How come there are so many men who are virgins, like myself, virgins, never done anything, never dated? But it seems like almost every female I encounter has had a relationship before. It's like, are they dating the same guys? Like,
Dude, this guy, I discovered him like a couple months ago. He is so fucking real, dude. He's fucking hilarious. It's yeah, it's the same dude. Oh my god, dude. Yep.
it just doesn't make any sense. Like, relationship before. It's like, how does that even happen? How come there are so many men who are virgins, like myself, virgins, never done anything, never dated? But it seems like almost every female I encounter has had a relationship before. It's like, are they dating the same guys? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, is one guy, has this
Yeah, he told me that.
one guy dated like five
Yep.
girls while you just sit there and get nothing? Is like that how it works? Because I noticed that all the time. Like, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, how come most females have had boyfriends or have them, but so many men just have never fucking dated? It's because I think, it's the same guys. The same guys are dating all these girls, like the top 30%, maybe top 20% are dating all these girls, while you're just kind of, sitting there left with like nothing. But, yeah, the teen love pill, man. College is probably the savior. If it goes past college, like, ooh, I don't know about that. It's gonna be rough. Dating for the first time. Like, can you imagine going on your first date at 40? This is like the problem, like I said, with dating when you get older. It's the fact that the reasons are different too. Because when you're young, it's like, oh, I love you so much. It's like innocent type of shit. You're both new to it, and The reasoning is going to be different. You know, imagine going on your first date when you're 40, you're going to hear, "Oh, I'm just looking for a man to take care of me and my son." It's just going to be, you know, the reasoning is going to be different. You know, and like I said, the newness phase, the newness can't come back. Because like I said, like how many times have you played a sport, done a hobby, maybe even watched a movie, played a game for the first time, you thought it was fucking amazing, you loved it, it was so good, it was fun, and then after a while it's just dies down. It becomes like you kind of have to like tolerate it. It's like meh, you know. And the brutal part about the age pill, you know, as you get older, is your looks fade. You know, whether you like it or not. If you're not taking care of yourself, well, looks will fade regardless. But most of these guys, you know, if you're old, you're sub 5, just by default. Because most of these guys, they just let themselves go. You know, the Norwood Reaper, it's like 1 out of every 4 men by the age of 30 experience some sort of hair loss. By the time you're 50, more than half of these dudes, the Norwood Reaper just stole their hairlines. You know, like you can look really good. You can, you know, looks max, gym, look super good, but the age pill always collects. You know, like I said, Norwood Reaper might come and steal your hairline. You know, the wrinkles may come. You might have health problems. That would probably suck. I'm noticing that more and more. It seems like people are in their 30s and 40s having these tremendous amounts of health problems, and I'm just like, that's not even that far away, you know, from me. You know, because like first off, if I could go through 2 decades and a year and a half, it felt like I fucking blinked. I can definitely do another one of those. You know, and then I'll have to deal with all these problems on top of that, looking like garbage too. Like, so when people say like, hey, you know, things get better, you'll be a high value man when you're 30 and 40, like I always say this, where when you ask anyone who's old, you know, when was, and I'm sure like maybe a couple of them will say like, oh, my 30s and 40s were the best time of my life, maybe. But you ask them like, hey, when was the best time in your life? They'll be like, oh, I remember when I was 16 years old and I dated little Susie. It was the best time in my life. I had so much fun. They're not gonna say like, you know, oh, when I was 40, it was the best time of my life. Like, chances are they're not gonna say that. That's why, like I said, the teen love, missing out on these experiences when you're younger. Because right now I have no experience. You know, right now, like I'm legitimately at rock bottom in my life. I am at the lowest low in my life that I've probably ever been. At this moment, the only person in my text messages, the only person I have as my contact is my mom. That's it. That's the only person. The only text message I have in my phone is my mom. And the only person I talk to is myself and her. I spend most days in my head just talking to myself, whether it be on here, you know, with a microphone, but, you know, in the shower, I'll talk to myself. In bed, I'll talk to myself, you know, late at night.
Yo, I want
And
you,
I don't talk to anybody
I want you to
anymore.
look at this other one. Hold on.
You know, aside from like replying to comment phone, but
Yeah, dude, this guy is based. This one's pretty funny because it's just real.
all right. But, you know, in the shower, I'll talk to myself.
Okay.
In bed, I'll talk to myself, you know, late at night. And I don't talk to anybody anymore. You know, aside from like replying to comments and shit, like texting, that's it. I haven't like voice to voice talked to somebody like in a while, you know, and that's just how I've been living. Like I haven't had like a face to face, especially like conversation in a very long time. In a very long time. And if it is, usually just small talk that doesn't go anywhere. So I'm not evolving at all mentally or like any of that. Like, I'm just not evolving. And I don't think people understand when you are this fucking low in your life. You don't understand. Like, people think it's like so easy to date. It's not. It's so difficult to date. You know, when you're at this low, there's like really nothing you can do. You know, oh, just, stop worrying about dating, bro, and just wait till she comes around, man. There's someone out there for you, bro. Uh-huh. But I mean, yeah, who knows? Maybe the day I get my shit together, it'll be too late. Like, maybe by the time I'm 40, I'll be money maxed, I'll have my shit together mentally, and, physically I'll look better. Probably not at all. That's the part, the problem about being sub 5 when you're young. When you're older, the age pill will amplify that. So if you're like a 4 out of 10 in your 20s, by the time you're 40, you'll probably be like a 2 out of 10. I can't really think of many dudes. I can think of some examples where guys like look better in their 40s than they were in their 20s, but like it's pretty rare. I don't really see that much. But yeah, it's just dating when you're older. Like I said, the newness experience, it's gone. The reasons are different. And imagine I go on my first date and like I tell her like, hey, I've never dated before, never had a girlfriend before. That's going to be the biggest turn off in the world. Because chances are, guys, like anyone I'm going to date in the future, if
Yeah.
I even will date, will have had a boyfriend in the past. Because I keep thinking like, oh, maybe, since I'm 21, there's going to be a girl who, she's my age and she's never dated too. It's like, no. Like, even if she's out there, which she probably is, what makes you think like, she's going to like me, I'm going to find her? It's just like such a blue-pilled way of thinking, man. Like, dating it just sucks in general, I think. But like I said, having zero experience, it's just a death sentence. And you can't make up for
Yeah.
those lost experiences, when you were younger. Because at the moment, all I have is bad nostalgia, a bad present, and it seems like a bad future. And it sucks. It really does. But, I mean, yeah. Dating when you're older with no experience, that must be rough. I don't know. Like, I just can't even imagine going on your first date at 30 years old. Like, oh, I put in lots of work. I got a high-paying job. I deserve this. I went to school for years. I'm a hardworking man. I deserve this. I'm a good man. Like, no one's guaranteed shit, Just because you put in hard work doesn't mean you're guaranteed shit. That's what sucks. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. So the whole incident that happened on Tuesday still hasn't really left my mind, and I'm going to share something brutal, So Saturday, yesterday, it is Sunday. I don't know when I'm going to upload this, but, my dad called me, and he doesn't really call me that much, and when he does, it's always at like the worst times in the world. But, he ended up calling me, and, he was like, oh, what have you been up to recently? And I told him, I'm like, I went out, got drunk and went out. And, he's like, oh, you got a job yet? You got a job? And now here's the thing, I think like one of my earliest videos is about like, I don't even know what it is. It's like older generations don't understand whatever, how dating is now. It's not even just that. It's just life in general. Like, I'm telling you, man, it's just everything. Like, they cannot fathom, like the older generations physically cannot fathom what it's like to grow up with like this just absolute slopped garbage food the internet just brain rot garbage. Like, they just can't fathom how badly it has just fucking destroyed everything. And, yeah, you know, I told him, I'm like, you know, I went out, got drunk, and he's like, oh, you know, I can't get mad at you for that. And, you know, he's telling me how, like, yeah, you know, when I was your age, he, like, gives me, like, the same speech every time. And, I think he genuinely thinks, so what he told me basically is he's like, yeah, you know, you're out there at bars, you know, hooking up with chicks. He's like, you're living it up, hooking up with chicks. And I don't know what the hell my dad thinks, honestly. I don't know if he actually knows I'm a 23-year-old virgin. I actually don't know. But he genuinely, like, this motherfucker genuinely thinks that I go to bars. Like, it's like the 80s. Because, like, you know, my dad was my age in, like, the early 80s, maybe late 70s, whatever. Like, he genuinely thinks, right, that I'm going to bars and, you know, talking to all these chicks and bringing them home. But when the harsh reality is, you know, I'm going to bars and getting pressed by this fucking guy with a fucking hairline tattoo. You know, like, that's like the harsh reality. And talking to other men. There's no women. Like, if you want to, you know, go to a bar to meet women, good luck to you. Seriously, I'll give you a fucking $1 million if you could pick up a chick at a bar, because that's just not how it works anymore. It's not. Every time I've been to a bar, guys, it is just, you know, middle-aged people, mostly men. It's always, like, mostly men. There's never women my age there. And if there are, guess what? They already have a boyfriend with them. You want to know why? Because, you know, they'll meet a guy online, right? Because, I mean, everything's online nowadays, right? They'll meet some dude online, and then they'll be like, hey, you want to go to the bar? And then they'll both go to the bar together. It's not the other way around where, you know, a girl my age, like, hey, I'm going to go alone to a bar and hopefully some really cute guys there that wants to, you know, pick me up. Like, Dad, what the fuck are you fucking smoking, dude? That's what he thinks. You know, it's like, what are you like, what different beer are you drinking now? Like, what the fuck? It's not how, like, I'm telling you, I've been to bars, like, November, December, I was, like, in and out of bars and shit, you know? And it's just all, you don't meet women. There's never, you know, and if there are women my age, they're with people, and with boyfriends, you know, because they met them online and made plans beforehand. That's just how it goes nowadays, man. You know, you're not going to meet a female there who's just, like, looking for guys. It's just not the motherfucking 80s and 70s anymore. God damn, dude. You know what I mean? And yeah, he's like, yeah, you gotta, you know, you guys quit doing that. You know, when I was your age, I was doing that every single day, all the time, picking up chicks. And the funny thing is, like, he always, like, I don't know if I said this yet. I know I made a community post about it, like, on my second channel, I think. But my dad pretty much, like, he called me. This was, like, after the whole, when I basically got cucked by my one-itis. You know, I went to the bar with her and she brought her fucking boyfriend, and that whole thing was a fucking disaster. I have a video on that. I was telling my dad about that whole thing, and, you know, he's telling me, he's like, the same shit, like, oh, you know, when I was your age, he's like, kid, listen to me, I've drank more beer and fucked more pussy than you ever will in your entire life. You know, he's just like, like, telling me this, you know, he's like, oh, and the thing is, it's like, you know, what's so brutal is, like, oh my God, it really is brutal. So, like, there's too many things, you know, especially, like, the whole generational differences, right? You know, he genuinely thinks I'm talking to all these chicks and bringing them home. Yeah, I'm with my buddies having fun. It's like, nope, I'm being dragged to these fucking places. I'm so fucking miserable and depressed that I have to get blackout drunk in hopes of, you know, enhancing my social skills, when in reality it just turns me into an idiot. Like, dude, it is so unbelievably over, man. And we have different phenotypes, which is fucking bizarre, because you gotta understand this too, guys. Like, my dad, you know, he's got jet black hair, curly hair. Some people actually mistake him for, like, you know, being ethnic, but he's not, because he's, like, really tan. Like, his skin is really dark. And me, you know, I'm a pale Irish ginger. You know, same thing as my mom. I don't know. And I even remember, like, this one story, like, they would always tell me, like, apparently when I was, like, when I was a baby, like, they took me to the beach, and some woman, you know, my dad was, like, holding me, and she thought that, you know, like, oh, I was like sick or something, like I had, like, albinism, like I was an albino. It's like, nope, the reality is, I'm an Irish ginger, cropped out the womb, and it was fucking over. So, yeah, That's pretty brutal. And even like now, dude, like fucking, I was arguing with my mom over this shit, you know, like I was just telling her how fucking ugly I am and all that garbage, because like it's just like I give up at this point, man. Like there's so much shit that I've done to the point where like I just keep, I don't know, just ending up in the same spot, you know what I mean? Because look where I am right now. I'm in my car making a video, depressed as fuck. It's just done, you know. And I was telling her like how ugly I am, and then she's like, oh, your father, look at your father, all the girls were all over your father. It's like, dude, he looks so fucking different from me, guys. Like, you gotta understand, it's such a, like, I literally don't look like his son. I actually don't, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, either way, you know, like, whatever, I don't care. Like, okay, cool, like my dad was a fucking Chad or something, I don't care. You know, like look at me, like I'm just fucking, it's just all this gaslight fucking garbage, dude. Like I just don't want to fucking hear anymore. Like, oh, you just gotta be you know, you're a kind man, you just gotta get yourself out there more. And where though? That's what I'm saying, you know. I got a lot of comments of like people saying like, maybe unironically or ironically, whatever, it's like, oh, you know, how could you go to a strip club and complain about like, you know, not being able to, you know, like, you know, going to a strip club and not being able to meet like good quality women and people. It's like, listen, I pretty much get dragged there because you know, the people I hang out with, you know, every now and then, they always want to go there for some stupid reason. I never do. I can't stand those strip clubs at all. I don't want to go back to them. But you gotta understand, like, outside of that, it's like, okay, where? We live in such a brutal time that, like, you know, people as young as me are going to strip clubs just to like talk to women, you know what I mean? Because it's like, where are they? I don't see women my age anywhere. You know, let me get my fucking binoculars out. Like, oh, touch grass, bro. It's like, okay, get my binoculars out. Where are they? Where are the women? Nowhere to be found. Seriously, I don't know. Like, it's just weird, you know. I'm kind of done with like you know, hobbies and clubs. Because, like, listen, I used to be, like, I don't know, more happy. Like, my brain wasn't as fucking fried and cooked, you know. Because I feel like nowadays my brain is just, like, SpongeBob, like, deep fried, like, in the fucking Krabby Patty fryer. Because it's just cooked. Like, I can't, like, nothing makes me happy anymore except for fucking alcohol, which I can't fucking drink. It's so brutal, man. It is so unironically brutal. Like, dude, it's just done. It's a done deal, you know? Just done. But yeah, you know, like I used to do like hobbies and clubs. I used to be like, yeah, let's go, yeah, basketball, yeah, oh my god, chess club, yeah. It's like, dude, it was all men in that motherfucking shit, dude. Every club I've ever done, dude, it's just like, it's just a sausage fest, you know what I mean? Just all guys. I never met a single female in any of those things, man. Seriously, you know. My parents like, oh, you just need a job. You need a job. It's like, well, yes, of course I fucking want a job. I need a job. You know, I want to get the fuck out of this house. You know, I want to live on my own, which, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't even think if I got a job, I probably wouldn't even be able to move out. I don't think many people can because of how fucked the economy is and you just can't afford shit anymore. But yeah, you know, that's another thing I wanted to mention. My dad, you know, he's talking about like, he's like, oh, you quit doing that. You need a job. You know, I've been applying to all these jobs for you. Have you gotten any emails? I'm like, no. And you know, it's over when both your parents are applying to jobs daily for you and you're not getting shit. That kind of scares me a little bit. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, they're both, you know, apparently like, especially, you know, like they're both trying to help me out, which is nice. You know, thank God. That's cool. You know, I'm not taking that for granted, but it's so brutal thinking about that, right? You know, aside from me, like, you know, them like applying to jobs for me, like submitting my resumes everywhere and no one getting back to me. That's pretty fucked, man. And yeah, you know, he's like, you need to get it in gear. And this is another brutal thing he said. He's like, you need to find a girl to motivate you. And he was talking about how like, you know, when he got like his first girlfriend or whatever, he's like, one of his first girlfriends, like it got him to motivate him. I hear that a lot from people too. Like even my only one friend, you know, Wingman, this motherfucker was telling me how like, he was like exactly like me 100%, like in every way. Like, and I would say he still is, you know, like I do like him. Like he technically is my like single, only one friend, you know, at this point in my life, only single one friend, you know, and he was telling me before his girlfriend came along, Yeah, he was just like me, and he got his girlfriend, and it just like kicked him off his fucking ass. He's like all motivated and happy, and he said it, like, just changed his life. You know, he's like, I'm telling you, you know, a girl, like a good girlfriend can like motivate you and change your fucking life. And that's what my dad pretty much said. He's like, you know, you need to find a girl or something to motivate you. He's like, because he always calls me at the worst times, like when I'm like either really tired in bed, like just sounding like shit, or like early in the morning. It's never like a normal time. And he's always like, oh, you know, you need to get up off your ass and quit going out with the bud.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Buddies, and the stupid part is he thinks I do that every day. You know, because right after, I don't know if like what brain cells he's operating on, but you know, he ended up calling my mom like right after he called me. You know, talking about like, oh, you know, why doesn't he have a job yet? Is he going out and drinking? You know, with the buddies? I understand it. And you know, he basically said the same shit to my mom. Like,
I don't know. Yeah, probably.
always going out there hooking up with the chicks, even though I ain't hooking up with nothing. You know, it's over. And my mom ended up basically saying like, hey, like he really doesn't leave the house. He doesn't really, you know, he'll just like go to the gym and, you know, go to the park, and that's it. He doesn't talk to anybody. He doesn't do anything. She said that like, this is such a rare thing that I do, you know, going out drinking. She's like, he doesn't really do that much at all. And yeah, like my dad's thinking this is like the 70s or something. Like, oh yeah, picking up the chicks at the bar. Yeah. Ha. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm picking up. The only thing I'm picking up is my fucking right hand to jerk off when I get home. It's, I mean, seriously, dude, like I ain't picking up any chicks. You know what I mean? I ain't picking up nothing, dude. I don't really want to like let him down and explain it to him, like how fucked and how over it is for me. Cause like, the funny part is, it's like my dad's always calling everybody a loser. He's like, oh, that guy's a loser. That guy's such a loser. And it's like, you got to realize, like, you know, your son's probably one of the biggest fucking losers. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, he's like trying to find me a job here. Like, that's part of the reason why he sent me back from, you know, where I was living. And, nothing has happened yet, guys. Like, I'm telling you, even my fucking uncle, he's like, yeah, I'll help you out. It's all crickets. Like, guys, I'm telling you, it's just fucking crickets. So, like, that's why I kind of have to go back to school, you know, like, I've been talking about that a little bit. Pretty much, like, over the summer, I'm going to look at, like, different trades, and I'm probably going to go back to school in September to, like, find a trade of some sort. Because, like, it's just ridiculous. Like, it's just over, man. And that's the even brutal part. Like, I've been talking about this. Like, there's people I know that are graduating with college fucking degrees that you know, that they can't find jobs for years. You know, they're in all this debt. Like fucking, you know, my good friend Wingman that I was just talking about, this motherfucker's in like $100K debt. You know, like he'll ask me like to pay for shit sometimes. I'll be like, you know, I don't have the money. So I guess I technically did make a smart decision working that, you know, just like going to a community college, even though I got a useless degree. You know, I have no debt, thank God. Saved up a lot of money from that fucking retail job with all that, you know, overtime and shit, which I guess was smart. I just regret quitting that job. I regret trying something new. I should have stayed there, man. I really should have, but it is what it is. Can't do shit. He also asked me to you know, this week, so Monday to Friday, to fucking take care of his dog. He's like, you know, my parents will give you $100 if you just like take care of my dog and cats. You know, you gotta stop by like in the morning and at night. He's like, at the end of the week, my parents will give you $100 for it. Because, I mean, he knows, like, I don't have shit going on. He knows, like, it's fucking over. And I even said that. I'm like, do you have anybody else to, like, do it? He's like, honestly, no. He's like, you're the only person. It's like, all right, cool. At least I'll get $100. You know what I mean? I guess that's kind of cool. But, so, yeah, I gotta do that this week. But, yeah, other than that, man, I'm just tired of that shit, too. Like, both my parents, like, and they're even talking too about, my dad was like, oh, you should kick him out so he learns his lesson. And I mean, damn well, like, I'd be homeless. Cause it's like, if I've been struggling, like, even before I got the job, back in like August of 2022, before I got that job, I was struggling fucking years before that, even in high school, my mom, like, she wanted me to have a high school job because, like, everybody else back in her day did it. And she was, like, driving me around everywhere. This was when I was, like, 16, just driving me around everywhere. No one hired me, and we just kind of gave up, you know what I mean? And then, when I graduated high school, I was still, like, kind of looking for jobs during college. And, yeah, I didn't get lucky until that subhuman warehouse job hired me. So it's definitely been an issue, like, no doubt. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, if I ever, like, do get kicked out, yeah, homelessness is something. That's definitely something, because I don't really know anybody. And, yeah, at this rate, like, no one's hiring me. And I also said it, too, like, yeah, even if you, like, do you guys, like, know anybody who is homeless, yet they work? I feel like that's becoming, like, more and more common nowadays, because you just can't afford anything now. Food is so goddamn expensive. It's just, like, I don't even know. Like, they just can't, the older generations just can't fathom it. They just can't fathom the fact that, for some reason it could be possibly any different, just any different. But, yeah, it's also over, too, because I've been thinking about that one girl at the strip club, the normal one, that gives you the dollars and shit, that, ghosted me. I got to get over that fast because
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, dude. It's so fucked, dude.
you know damn well I already saw it for myself. She's got like thousands of guys on her iMessages, so I already got lost in there pretty much. Done deal. Over.
Yeah,
Such a
everything's
different
fucked.
era. Because that wouldn't have happened like years ago. You know what I mean? The 80s, if I saw her there, I wouldn't be competing with fucking everyone on the goddamn internet. It would just be me there, and all the other guys that, hit on her like in real life, not like the whole internet and just like the sea of all the people I was scrolling on. Like, Jesus Christ, it is just so done and over with. Like, I was just like telling my mom about this shit too. I'm like, I give up on everything. Like, I really do, man. I'm tired of like putting in hard work and getting fucking farted in my mouth garbage. Like, what the fuck is that shit? Seriously, like, what is that? I'm gonna make a video like pretty soon probably on like my whole like I don't know, just like diet and gym, and I mean, it probably will be like an educational video maybe, but I mean, it did help me feel better for a while. But now I'm just kind of, I mean, I don't know, man. I can either bulk up and cut or just keep getting skinnier. Not exactly sure what I want to do, because I'm kind of at that point where I plateaued with my weight. So, yeah, I don't know. I just want to look good. That's the whole problem. Like, I actually considered plastic surgery a little bit. because like obviously if I look really good, people are gonna treat me better, because that's just human nature. That's how it goes. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. All right, today I want to talk about pretty much one of the most bizarre job rejections, ghostings I think I've ever had in my entire life. You know, I don't even know where to begin. I really don't. Let's see. First off, both my parents, you know, for like as long as I can remember, because you got to remember they're boomers and they say the same things, you know, oh, you need to, and it's so funny because my mom called me the other day saying, I bet the reason why people aren't hiring you is because, you know, you're not wearing your khakis and plaid shirt and you don't have your hair slicked back and you're not being confident enough. And this really isn't like the 60s where you can just walk in and give a firm handshake. Like it's such like a meme at this point, but like this is literally what they're telling me. And my dad, same thing. He's like, oh, you need to print out resumes, walk in, and because he's getting like pretty upset, like, why are you don't have a job yet? And like I tried explaining to him and showing him like how many applications I've filled out online, because guys, like it's actually like a disgusting number, like in the hundreds. And you know, I can already hear it now, bro, those are rookie numbers, bro, gotta do another
Yeah. Yeah.
1,000 more job applications before you get something, buddy. Trust me. You know, it sounds like my fucking dating life. Like, oh, just do it. 1,000 more approaches, and eventually, you know, if you're not broken down and defeated yet, maybe someone will come along. It's like, that's another thing too. Like these are like just depressing me to no end, to the point where it's like, why do I even, you know, I just can't even describe like how bad, you know, like my overall mood is, and just getting ghosted constantly, and you know, getting job rejections, and it just makes you want to not even do anything, you know, just makes you even more, just puts you in a bigger, like deeper hole, honestly. And this week, it wasn't many. I did 3 walk-ins where I just was like, so, you know, I applied online, and it's so funny when you do that one too, when you apply online and they tell you, you know, you walk in and they tell you, oh, well, you gotta just wait for the email, or wait for the call, you know, or apply online again, or we don't do walk-ins, you gotta apply online, you know. But let me basically explain the most bizarre. So I applied to Best Buy 3 times, twice for you know, warehouse, and once for a sales associate, just cause it's $15 an hour, and you know, that's what I was making where I used to live. And man, you know, I really did want that job, you know, thinking about it. But this interview happened maybe I would say like maybe Wednesday, so like a couple of days ago. And I basically, you know, I walked in with my khakis, plaid shirt, I had my resume in my hand. I was just cringing my ass off too, because it's like, it took me so long to actually convince myself to do this. Like, I don't think you guys realize, you know, like, first off, like, I have really bad social anxiety. I think every single person does, though, because like, it's just, I feel like it's just like, there's like an evolutionary reason for that. Especially because, you know, you don't know people's intentions. You always want to, like, you know, be cautious of everything. And yeah, like, it's funny too, because like, no matter how much like pep talk you get, no matter how much practice you get, you're like, I'll always like be anxious. Which, I mean, I guess it's a good thing. You know, because the people that are like super low inhibition, you know, that take like a drug for it, they just go on and on and on and talk about like, you know, just irrelevant stuff. Because you got to understand, like, the average person doesn't even care about small talk, really. Like, they don't really want to talk to you. They just want to, you know, want it to be quick, over with, done. You know, people just don't have time for anything. Everyone, I swear to God, like, everyone's frontal lobes are just completely just starched and squanched, and just, it's over. Like, everyone nowadays just doesn't even give a shit about anything. So yeah, I walked in and I asked for the manager, And it was like literally just like this average, like 40-year-old average height, except he had the Dr. Phil hair, like he was bald. And pretty much I introduced myself. I said, hey, I applied online. I was wondering if you guys are currently looking for somebody or if you're currently hiring. And, you know, that's when I gave him the firm handshake, you know, after I introduced myself. And he goes, oh, yeah. You know, we were just, like, having, like, a soy war because, like, I swear to God, like, when you're talking to the average person, like, I can't even believe, like, people think, like, I'll get this comment where people say, bro, like, with that attitude, bro, like, there's no way I would hire you, bro. It's like, do you really fucking think I'm going to go up to an employer and be like, oh, please hire me, it's so over. I live in the middle of nowhere. I'm fucking miserable and depressed, and I hate my life, and I'm gonna be a 23-year-old virgin, and I fucking, you know, I'm not, like, what? Like, why would I do that? You know, you gotta soy it don't fake it till you make it. Soy it till you make it, because, yeah, me and him, he was like, oh, yeah, sure, yeah, wow, we're hiring, yeah. And I was like, oh, great, and, you know, so basically, yeah, he's like, oh, well, unfortunately, the hiring like, I didn't talk to this guy for long at all. He asked me, like, what position. He's like, oh, well, what position are you applying to? I was like, oh, well, I would prefer the warehouse, but anything is fine. You know, whatever is open. And he goes, oh, okay, well, the hiring manager, unfortunately, he isn't in today. And I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, oh, well, I'll take down your name and number, and tomorrow morning, between 9 to 10 a.m. when he comes in, he'll shoot you a call. And I was like, wow, great. So not only did I give this motherfucker one firm handshake, I gave him 2 fucking firm handshakes. And, you know, walked out with bigger balls. Because I was more confident. No, I'm just fucking around. But, yeah, I mean, I did feel better after. Like, I'm not going to lie. I was like, damn, you know, I did it, you know, I just felt better. But yeah, I was just expecting a call that didn't happen. And, you know, I told my dad, like, I was supposed to expect a call, and he was like, oh, why don't you call him up yourself? And,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I want to, like, you know, seem like I'm trying too hard, you know. I don't want to, like, you know, seem like I don't know, like, if it's just like me thinking that. So I did eventually end up calling them, you know, the day after. I was told, like, oh, he'll call you tomorrow morning, right in the morning he'll call you, which he didn't. And my dad was like, you got to make the move, show them you care, show them you want that job, be charismatic, and, you know, whatever. So, you know, I ended up calling them, which I really didn't want to, because, again, I was thinking, like, they're gonna think I'm trying way too hard. So, you know, I called, you know, I told them my name. I was like, hey, you know, I talked to so-and-so, you know, I talked to your bald manager. I'm just kidding, I didn't say that. But I was like, I talked to your manager, and, you know, I was told that I would receive a call from the hiring manager today. And she goes, oh, well, he's sick today, but he will be in tomorrow, so I'll make sure he gets your call, and I'll give him your number. And so, yeah, you know, I told her, I was like, oh, you know, I left my resume there. And she was like, oh, okay, you know, he'll probably see that tomorrow and give you a call. And again, you know, day number 2 goes by, nothing. So I eventually call again, because my dad was like, gotta show them you care. You're almost there. Gotta show them you care. And I think it was a different woman. I want to say it was a different woman. And, same thing, I introduced myself. I said, you know, I was supposed to receive a call from the hiring manager today. And she goes, oh, he's here today. I'll go into his office, and I will let him know. I'll give him your number, and he'll be sure to give you a call. And again, just nothing. So day 3 goes by, and same thing. I called and said, like, hey, I'm supposed to receive a call from the hiring manager, and she just hung up, didn't even, and I just felt like humiliated. And of course my dad, oh, I don't know what happened, because like I swear to God, like, my parents can't comprehend, like, getting rejected from a job. I don't know what it is. Like, even when I you know, when I was looking for one, like, when I was younger, like, they thought I was lying. And they were like literally like like my mom would just like drive me to these places to watch me go on these interviews and watch me do these walk-ins because she just couldn't believe that no one was hiring me at all. They just couldn't believe it. Like my dad was like, well, you didn't do something right. You didn't like, it just has to be some crazy, like, oh, you just weren't charismatic enough. You weren't confident enough. You didn't. It's like blah, 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 whatever. That I still, again, like, haven't received a single call at all. So yeah, that's that. I pretty much gave up. I don't really care about the job anymore. You know, that job, even though it did pay $15 an hour, I don't, whatever. But I mainly want to talk about the interview that I went on today. So I was driving around and I came across a Barnes and Nobles, which, or I think it's Barnes and Noble. I don't know if there's an S on the end. I don't know. But it's a bookstore, and you're probably wondering, like, why would you even want to apply to a bookstore? I mean, seriously, like, how hard could it be, you know, working in a bookstore? Because who reads anymore anyway? You know, I mean, personally, I think reading is the dumbest shit in the world. Like, I just don't care about reading at all. And I was like, you know what, might as well just walk in, because I don't know, I just felt comfortable walking in there for some reason. I don't exactly know what, like why I did that, but you know, I wasn't really that like anxious at all to do it. I just kind of walked in with my khakis and plaid shirt, you know, that with my resume, and found the manager right away. Thank God I didn't have to deal with, oh, can you get the manager, and then they say, oh, wait here, and you're just kind of like awkwardly standing there. But I found this lady right away. It was this lady with short hair, you know, middle-aged lady. And, you know, I was like, hey, you know, are you guys hiring? She goes, oh, yeah, what are you looking for? But we're only hiring part-time right now, so keep that in mind. And I was like, okay. I noticed, like every place, guys, that you apply to is fucking hiring part-time. I don't want part-time, you know. It seems like everywhere, guys. Like, any people who seem like they have any sort of interest of hiring me always say, oh, we're hiring part-time. But yeah, you know, as this lady, she goes, oh, we're hiring part-time currently, but, and I was like, oh, well, I have my resume here. So she was like, oh, great. And, you know, she was looking at it. I told her, you know, hey, I just recently moved here, just looking for a job. And, you know, she was just reading through the resume real quick. And, you know, she saw like the last job I put, you know, at the warehouse. She goes, oh, well, have you tried looking for a warehouse job? Usually people who stay in that field, or people who work those jobs stay in that field. And I was like, well, I didn't want to tell her the truth. Like, it's fucking over. Every fucking job I fucking applied to has completely shit on me and rejected me. Instead of saying that, I just shot up some soy and said, well, you know, I really want to try something new. I'm passionate towards reading. I've always enjoyed reading. And she's like, oh, great. What kind of books do you like? Now, again, I don't fucking care about reading. I can't even name a single book. I'm not even joking. So when she asked me that, I just on the spot, I was just like, oh, well, you know, I really like comics, you know, Garfield. And because that's like the only thing I could fucking say. And she goes, oh, wow, interesting. And she walked me through the store. She's like, okay, well, you know, just like telling me what they do. She's like, everyone here works the register. Everyone here cleans the toilets. Everyone here vacuums. Everyone here dusts. Everyone here stocks shelves. And I told her, like, yeah, I'm used to that. I used to do stuff like that all the time. And, you know, she basically goes, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This job pays $9 an hour. I don't think personally from where you're from, that's something that you're looking for. And she basically, like, made it seem like, I don't know, it was so bizarre because she kept saying, she's like, personally, since you're new here, I think you should maybe work in a restaurant, get some tips. It's so funny because, like, that's what the old manager who I used to work with at my old job, she said that all the time, like, you should work in a, you know, be a waiter, and you know, you'll meet people and make friends with other broke college students, and, you know, all that.
Damn.
But she just, like, it was like so weird and like unprofessional. Like, she started naming like other jobs for me to do, And it was just really bizarre. Like, it really was. She's like, oh, well, you know, you do have some experience in other fields. I think that there are other opportunities out there for you, but if things don't work out, then you can call me and I'll consider it. And I was like,
Yeah, I know exactly. It's so fucked.
all right, so maybe I do have a job at a fucking bookstore. But it was just really, really strange because, you know, she gave me a pat on the back and was like, she's like, you know, I think you should really, really consider going into waiting tables and, you know, maybe trying and find a job in your field. But if things don't pan out, maybe you can come here. Maybe I'll consider it. And I was like, all right. It's just, so I don't even know, like, and she didn't even leave me a number to call. So I don't know. It was just bizarre. I don't even know what to make of it. I mean, for $9 an hour part-time, I mean, what the fuck can I buy with that? Seriously. And it's so funny how, you know, like one of my last videos, McDonald's, they pretty much, they were low on staff. You know, the subhumans were fighting behind the counter. They were all slow. They couldn't make the food quick enough. And I asked if they were hiring. She was like, oh, starting pay is $7.25. And someone literally commented and was like, bro, you could negotiate, bro. Like, you're just making excuses, bro. You should have negotiated for at least 10. What the fuck am I going to do with $10 an hour? And I noticed, too, you can't negotiate with retail, guys. You can't fucking negotiate a minimum wage retail job. Whatever pay they tell you, you really can't negotiate it, because guess what? There's always going to be some chump who's going to fucking work for that, you know, $9 or $7 an hour because they're beyond desperate. And I swear to God, I might be at that stage, which is crazy, you know, because now, I mean, it's just, I'm running low on money, and, you know, I feel like I'm going to be screwed soon, you know. But, I mean, so far, I mean, I guess I'm hanging in there. But, I mean, yeah. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is the quiet quitting, and how, like, again, like, every retail place has oh, we're hiring, now hiring, which is a load of crap, because, you know, I finally understand it now. You know, at my old job, they pretty much did this, where they had this permanent we're hiring sign that was like laminated on the window, on like one of the windows, like in the front. And what would happen basically, so when I got hired, it was like sort of understaffed, and they were just like desperate, and they hired my subhuman ass with all these other subhumans to, you know, work in the basement. And honestly, you know, I want to make a couple videos on just like the lost files of the job I used to work, you know, the lost files of the subhuman basement, because I'm telling you, man, there's so much shit that happened that, like, I didn't really necessarily talk about, just because, you know, just in case, you know. So and now that I'm never going back there, like, there's just like so much brutal shit, man, that I can't even, it's just, you know, just wrap my head around. But yeah, you know, the whole quiet quitting thing, basically they keep this we're hiring sign up because they're scared people are just going to walk out and never show up again. And that way, when the time comes, when someone walks in, they will, you know, just hire them. And it's so funny, too, because I remember during Christmas time, there's this kid who walked in, and keep in mind, like, we were, like, sort of overstaffed at the time, like, during Christmas, because it's, you know, it's a holiday season in retail. They just hired a bunch of people. And this kid walked in, and he literally looked like a UK gangster, like a British gangster. Like, if you guys have ever seen that fucking movie, what was it called? The Kingsman, where, you know, that Eggsy kid, he's got like the hat on, and, you know, the British kid, he looked exactly like him, except he had like these massive, like ear gauges in. So he had like the cap and these huge, and I swear to God, these things were like fucking like plates. Like that's how fucking big they were. These things were huge. Like he had these huge ear gauges, and I don't know, like you have to have like some sort of like mental illness to fucking gauge your ears out, you know, just because you look like a clown. Like no, I don't know. And the bigger they are, just, you know, I could just, like, if you get into a fight, you are fucked. Like people are just gonna they're just gonna yank them off, you know, because if you have like those huge ear gauges, they're just gonna just grab onto them like a fucking you know, like a bicycle, and just yank down, and you're done for. Those things are going, they're ripping apart, they're flying. So yeah, he had these huge ear gauges, and you know, he did the same thing I did. He just walked in. I watched the whole thing unfold. You know, I was sitting by the customer service desk. You know, I was like stocking a shelf. I can't remember what I was doing, but because I was all over the place. I was in the fucking basement, I was upstairs, I was on the fucking register, I was everywhere. And I pretty much just stopped to watch this event unfold, because I watched this guy walk in with his paper, his resume, and you know, he was looking for a job. You know, the manager I had, he's pretty much, you know, he's sitting down, he's smiling, you know, talking to this guy. And the second, you know, that he turns around, you know, the British gangster turns around, the fucking manager, his face literally just goes right to a frown, like just back to his default, like sour face. And he just looks at the resume, just shakes his head, and just like puts it down on another pile, like just like on a bunch of random piles of paper. And you know, they keep that sign out, but they're not actually hiring anybody, you know. And these people wonder, like, oh, what's going on, why am I not getting hired? It's because they weren't really hiring to begin with. Maybe they'll give you a call a month later when they find.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I'm pretty sure they do, yeah. With the one by Kipling?
Find your resume in the fucking garbage. But who knows, you know, this kid, I felt so bad. Like he was talking about how like he just came out of like rehab or something. I mean, I get it. Like that dude literally was a fucking British gangster. Like he might as well have been at that point. But he was talking about, like, he's like, oh, I really am looking for work because I came out of rehab. And yeah, my boss just fucking, or my manager just shook his head and just had like a frown on his face as this guy's walking out. And when the guy was walking out, he was smiling, you know, as he was walking out, because he probably thought he got the job. And I was just like, oh my God, it was just like so brutal to watch. And you know, eventually with my job, people were stealing so much. Like they would hire people and they would steal. And it got to a point where my boss one day, he asked, like, because my boss was Russian, he's like, oh, you have anybody you have any friends that I can hire that you trust? And I was like, no, I don't have any fucking friends. Like, what the fuck do I look like, you know? And this was like, you know, after I had pretty much lost them all. And I was like, no, I don't have anybody I know. And he's like, oh, okay. And just, you know, walked away. And we pretty much went months like understaffed because they just couldn't trust anybody because people kept stealing. Like this one chick, I'll make a video about this because this was so insane to me. I got accused of stealing guys like a couple of times on multiple occasions, which, you know, obviously they were like, oh, they figured out it wasn't me. And you would think they would trust me by then, not to like accuse me of stealing 3 times. But this woman, well, I wouldn't say a woman, she was like 19 years old. She had 2 kids, and she stole thousands of dollars from the register and hid it so well that this went on for like maybe a month before they were like, holy shit, we gotta like, and it was so bad, like the police were there and everything, and she just didn't, she just stopped showing up. Like she basically was like, oh, I'm going on a vacation, and that was it. They waited for her to come back, and she just never did. And it was bad. Like she stole like an insane amount of money, and they thought I fucking did it. They thought one of the instances that I did it, and they were like, they figured out I wasn't working on that fucking day, guys. I wasn't working on that day. They're like, oh, And they didn't even say sorry or anything. Like, they came in, they were like, get in my office now. And I was like, what? He's like, you're stealing, we find the camera, and I was like, what the, like, yo, calm down, because, like, I got all, like, paranoid. They couldn't retrieve, like, the camera from, like, the camera footage only went back so far, they had to, like, call the company to get it. And they're like, oh, you better be telling truth. You better be telling truth. And he found the schedule, and I wasn't even working on the day that it fucking happened. And he goes, oh, you weren't working. Never mind. I was like, oh, okay. Fuck. I was like, oh my God. Only my luck, you know, seriously. Just insane. It really is.
Uh, mm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, he told me that. And they don't even care.
But, yeah, I don't know, I always go on, like, little rambles. But, yeah, the whole job searching thing, man, just, I might as well at this fucking point just become an absolute subhuman fucking slopper, gain 500 pounds, be completely immobile, and get on disability at this point, because I'd have a better odd at doing that than finding a minimum wage job. And I'd probably get paid more, you know, or I could be like the rest of the fucking kids in my generation and say, I'm depressed, I need disability. Just like the one kid I used to work with that did that all the time. I'm depressed and anxious, that's my disability, and I can't do it, I can't do it. But meanwhile, 2 seconds later, be completely fluent and talking to people when he wasn't working. We're fucked, man. It's just, it's so unbelievably over now that I can't even, my brain can't even comprehend or function, you know. It's just fascinating, you know. But I mean, with that being said, I have a feeling, like a strong feeling, I might get a job pretty soon. Maybe not a high paying one, but just one to survive, you know, or hopefully. So I mean, again, you just can't make much money off of like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, even 15.
Nice.
You're not going to be able to survive on your own. You just can't. You know, I mean, obviously, you know, my college degree is completely useless. I wish I didn't even go to fucking college. You know, all the good grades I got didn't matter. And that's a funny thing too. That woman today, she was like, "Oh wow, you were on the honors, high honors, wow." And I kind of, you know, wanted to tell her like, yeah, those classes were all bullshit. Like I cheated my way through it. Like it was all on online school, you know, clown school, online school. Look up all the answers. But oh man, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just did my way through it. Like it was all on online school, you know, clown school, online school. Look up all the answers. But oh man, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just stressed and depressed.
Oh my god, dude. This is so fucked.
Hi, this is Peyton with Girls Gone.
Yo, the second comment is hilarious. I'm a dumbass for not realizing we'll call you is always a rejection. Nice. Damn. Yeah. Amazing advice, right?
All right, today
You know,
I
just
want to talk
fucking
about pretty much
wear
how
yourself out until there's nothing
expensive
left.
everything is. Like, I don't understand how you can possibly live on your own or just survive. Like, you know, I know it used to be like an insult where people would be like, "Oh, bro, you're in your 30s living with your parents, bro." But it's so common nowadays that no one even says anything about that anymore. Like, it's just absolutely insane. And, you know, how it affects lonely people is that, like, you know, if you don't have any friends, you don't have a social circle, you got no girlfriend, you really only have to rely on your parents, you know, if you even have that as an option. And, you know, what I was going to say was, you know, a couple days ago I was at McDonald's, and the thing is, you know, I've been unemployed for 4 months. I've been struggling to find a job. I mean, I always have. I've always struggled to find jobs. And this is the thing, you know, if you go on an interview and they tell you, oh, we'll think about it, or, oh, we'll consider you, you didn't get the job. It's over. Because the 3 jobs I did have, they hired me right after the interview. And it's like, you know, the first 5 seconds you walk in there, they already made up their mind about you. They already know.
Yeah.
Know if they're going to hire you or not. And I even remember, you know, my parents, like, they're both boomers, you know, they're both very old. They lived in a completely different era. It's funny because my mom pretty much, like, she wanted me to get a job during high school. Same thing with my dad, because he's like, oh, well, you know, when I was 6 years old, I was working in a restaurant being a dishwasher boy, and I was making $3 an hour, and your generation's so messed up. You gotta do hard work, and, you know, all that garbage. But, you know, it was like a huge hassle, you know, just to even try. And I still didn't get a single job. So first thing, like, I had to, like, get, like, these papers from my guidance counselor, and, like, these working papers, because, you know, I was under 18 and I was applying to places every day, and my mom was helping me with it. And she would, like, get so angry, like, why aren't you getting hired? Why? What's wrong? What's going on?
Yeah.
And 18 guidance counselor, and, like, these working papers.
Dude, this guy is, like,
you know,
the most based YouTuber, dog.
I was under 18 and I was applying to places every day, and my mom was helping me with it. And she would, like, get so angry, like, why aren't you getting hired? Why? What's wrong? What's going on? What's going on? It should be easy to get these jobs. What's going on? Even, you know, as I was in college and now, like, till now, it's the same thing. Like, you know, I remember this phone call that my parents were having, like, not that long ago, maybe, like, I don't know, maybe like a year ago, where they were like, why is no one hiring our son? Why does he keep getting denies? And this is the thing, you know, people are gonna say, like, dude, just lie on your resume. Like, what are you thinking? Like, lie on your resume. I swear to God, I can say, I don't know, I could say I cured cancer. I'm a fucking brain surgeon. I've served in the Marines. I could say anything, right? And they'll still say no. I'll still not get the job. Like, you know, and yeah, like, my parents, like, they just would get so mad, like, why is no one hiring you? And they got to a point where, like, my mom, like, every time
I'm comparing the 2 jets. I think the pointier one looks better.
I would go without a job, she would, like sit in the background while I was applying, just to make sure, like, I wasn't lying, or, like, what the hell's going on. And, like, these people, they'd be like, oh, we're not they would have a fucking we're hiring sign out, and they'd say, oh, we're not hiring. Or they'd be like, oh, just go apply online. Like, you hear that all the time. You walk into any store, they'll be like, oh, just apply online, and then you don't hear anything from them at all. You know, you gotta wait, like, forever, and they'll call you and be like, oh, well, it's just insanity. You know, I know people, like, tell me all the time, like, oh, dude, like, I don't know why, like, if you wanted a job by now, you'd have one. And it's like, first off, this is another thing too. Like, again, I keep, like, getting off track about, you know, I was talking about the whole McDonald's thing. So, what I was gonna say about that. So, yeah, I was at McDonald's, and this, first off, I mean, oh my God, it's just, all it is like, for these people, all they do is fight, scream. I mean, it's kind of funny to me. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, it's just a bunch of subhumans fighting, you know, and you just hear them screaming, and, like, everyone's always like, you know, just like, oh, why are they yelling? And they have, like, terrible reviews. And, you know, it's this one girl who has pink hair, her chin, like, she doesn't even have a jaw at all. Like, her neck just kind of morphs into her head like a fucking light bulb. Like, terrible reviews. And, you know, it's this one girl who has pink hair, her chin, like, she doesn't even have a jaw at all. Like, her neck just kind of morphs into her head like a fucking light bulb. And, you know, her eye, she has a lazy eye, crooked teeth. And from, like, what I understand is, like, her and this other chick, this other low-tier Becky, they're fighting over, like, some baby daddy. And, like, I'm so curious as to, like, who this guy is. But they're always screaming, and it's just, like, Jesus Christ. You know, the sad part about, like, all these, like, jobs is that it's, like, it's all the same types of people. You know, people who just were unfortunate, you know, who were just mentally ill, disabled, who just are permanently stuck in these old jobs. You know, like, they flip the coin, born, lost, have to work these jobs. Oh well, you know, someone's got to do the jobs. You know, I always, like, laugh my ass off when people say shit like that. Like, someone has to do it. It's like I can just picture some dude, like, you know, pulling up in his Ferrari, just, you know, talking to a bunch of people who just work those jobs and just saying, like, oh, at least I'm not doing it, and just driving off. You know, it's all, you know, it's all unfair, but it is what it is. Like, I really don't have problems working these jobs. Like, I really don't. But what I was gonna say was, so yeah, they're all fighting and they're taking forever. You know, I waited, like, probably a half an hour, and, you know, this lady keeps saying, oh, we're understaffed, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And I was like, all right, you know, maybe I'll ask about getting a job here. So I did. You know, when she gave me my food, I was like, you know, are you guys hiring? And she was like, oh, yes, we're hiring. And I don't know, I just got curious. I'm like, you know, how much an hour is it? Because I wanted to know. She goes, oh, $7.25. And I was like, no, thank you. Because what the fuck? How can you, like, this is the insane part about it, is that, you know, first off, the gas, you know, driving back and forth, which it's not that far away. It's only like 15 minutes. Probably one of the closest things to, you know, to the house. But still, it's like, you're not even, that's not even take home either. It's probably more like $5 something. And I always get, like, so confused when I see these people working. Like, there's a Burger King, and I'm not even joking, it's all, like, middle-aged men, like, in their 50s working there. And I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, how are they able to survive off of $7 an hour? Like, who are they living with? How, like, I don't understand this, you know? And this is, like, the sad thing that happens to most of these dudes who are just, you know, they're disabled, or just, you know, because this is the thing, you know, like, when you're by yourself, like, when you have no social circle, no girlfriend, and you go your whole life like this, you can only rely on your parents. So, like, these dudes, like, they just live with their parents, then they die off, and they don't know what to do anymore because their parents are gone, they can't help them anymore, and they're screwed. But, you know, another thing too, like, what people say is, like, you know, oh, you shouldn't have gotten a liberal arts degree, you should have, you know, got, like, a actual normal degree, because, like, I did want to do x-ray tech, like, I wanted to be an x-ray technician. But the problem with, like, these jobs, like, you'd be extremely surprised at how many people, because, you know, college is so overrated. Like, people graduate with degrees all the time that they don't use at all, or that they can't find a job in that field. Like, this is the thing what people don't get. It's like, I guess, like, the best way I can describe it is, like, shit, I don't know. Maybe maybe like in school, like, let's say you're a gym teacher. The guy that your gym teacher, there's only, like, a handful of them. There's only, like, maybe, depending on the school, maybe anywhere from, like, 2 to 5 gym teachers. They're not moving. They're never leaving that job ever. You know, they're going to stay there. They're comfortable with it. It's their job. They've been doing it for years. And let's say you want to do that. You're going to have to wait such a long time, you know, for one of them to croak or retire. And I guess it's, like, the same thing with teaching in general, right? Because, like, when have you really ever seen new teachers? And if you have seen the new teachers, let's say you randomly one year got a new teacher. Think about how many fucking people that person had to compete against just to get that teaching job. You know, oh, wow, one new teacher every 3 years. It's like, you know, it's like that with every single job. If I really did want to be an x-ray technician, let's say I did get that degree, chances are I'd still be unemployed. Like, I'd still be struggling to find a job. Even the people, like, who did that job, who I talked to, they were like, you got to have an in somewhere. You got to talk to people, and, you know, they'll tell you, and you know, you just have to make connections, all that stuff, which people don't even really do anymore. But that's another thing. You know, when you graduate with college, you don't even use the fucking degree, or if you do, you just can't find a job in that either. And it just seems like everyone is screwed nowadays. Like, you know, my generation is just finished, just fucking done for. Because, like, you know, I always go back to this comment that I got, you know, maybe like a year ago, which I still find it hysterical, like, to this day. This dude basically, he basically says, like, my grandfather, you know, he bought a house for 15 grand. He was a fucking grocery store bagger. Like, he bagged the groceries, and he raised 4 kids, and that's what he did till he retired. And I just found it hysterical, because it's like, you know, you can't even do that now. You can't even fucking have kids nowadays. Even, you know, even if a girl finds you attractive, whatever, you finally, let's say you get married, whatever, if that even, let's just, like, say, you know, besides, you know, your genetics, all that shit, let's say, you know, even if you wanted to have kids, you fucking can't. Like, these boomers are so brain damaged where they think, like, oh my god, why aren't people having kids? Why are they living with their parents still? Oh my god. And, you know, it's like, you can't afford having kids now. Like think about this. Like, I'm sure, like, anyone watching this, let's say you randomly found out you were going to be a father in 9 months. Like, what would you do? Like, if someone told me right now you'll be a dad in 9 months, I don't know, like, what I would do. Like, oh my god, my life would be over, you know? Because there's nothing you can do. You can't afford to take care of that child at all. Another thing I want to talk about too, which is absolutely insane, like, you know, people, like, this is the thing, like, my parents have, like, this, not just my parents, but my whole fucking family has this fucking cringe idea of hard work. You know, we do things the right way. Like, oh my god, I've been hearing this ever since I came out the fucking womb. We do the things the right way. We don't cheat. We don't do things to get ahead. We do things the right way. We are good, honest people. Oh my god, it's just, like, so, like, soyish. Like, you know, it's sad too, because I have that still in my head. Oh, hard work. But you look at all the successful people, they found a loop around. You know, they cheated. They got ahead by working smarter. I know the quote, you hear it a lot, like, work smarter, not harder, which I swear to God, it's so true, you know? And, you know, my parents are, like, so proud of, like, oh, like, especially my mom, like, she basically, like, worked super, super hard to get the job that she's working now. It's a stay-at-home job in HR, and, like, she's like, trying to, like, do things the right way in the job, and she's just getting completely mogged, and, you know, circles ran around her by, like, these Stacys who already know everything, know all the little shortcuts and all this stuff, because she works with, like, all women, you know. The only guys she talks to are, like, those for, like, the IT and tech and stuff. But, like, it's so brutal. Like, these girls are just mogging her into the dirt, just, like, and she always, like, complains about it, like, they're doing things the wrong way, they're not doing it the right way. And it's like, look at you, like, my god, you know, you're saying, like, how hard you worked, you know, to finally get this job. And it's like, I'm telling you guys, like, I'll hear her have, like, straight up mental breakdowns, like, every single day. Like, oh my god, especially, you know, last summer, like, right before I got that warehouse job, she would be screaming, I can't take it, I'd hear shit, like, getting flown across the room. It's like, wow, just very smart, playing it the, you know, the right way, the safe way, the hard work. There's your hard work. It's like, come on, you know, it's just so ridiculous. You know, I'm so glad I'm away from that now. But yeah, she would scream, she'd break shit. Even my cucked uncle, you know, who looks like Brendan Fraser, this guy, I mean, my god, same thing. You gotta work hard, you gotta, you know, put your bootstraps on and do things the right way. And he's making good money, but he's a fucking miserable bastard. You know, a miserable, violent, angry, but, oh, I worked hard, though. And it's like, you look at the people who just, they're doing everything to get ahead, like trying to make their life as stress-free as possible. They're calm and they're fine. Oh, but he cheated. He didn't do things the right way. And it's like, look at how many fucking hair follicles you lost out of your fucking head. Like, it's not even worth it. But anyway, yeah, that whole hard work thing. Another thing, like, what I want to say, like, about my generation, like, I keep, like, getting off track with shit, but, yeah, the disability thing, man, like, yeah, like, I don't know, my parents saying that, like, oh, well, we don't want you to get disability, because I don't know what it is, like, my mom keeps, like, calling me up and saying, like, oh, you're gonna end up on disability just like the rest of the people down south. You're a loser. We're not like that. We're hard workers. And she used to get so pressed, and I mean so absolutely fucking pressed that, because her old Beta Bucks boyfriend was on disability, but then again, he was a veteran, so, I mean, that's, like, fine, but he made more money than her just by sitting on his fucking ass, and he got a free house from the government, and even his daughters, too, like, one of them was on disability, the other one was trying to get on it, and they're like, what, at the time, they're like my age now, or like 22, and they would blow all their disability money on Hennessy and cigarettes, and, like, it's just, oh my god, like, and they were making so much money just by doing nothing. And I even had a friend, too, who got SSDI somehow. I don't know how. I really don't. He had, like, sort of a similar thing to me. Like, he'd been to the psych ward a couple times. I think it's schizoaffective, bipolar something. I don't know. But either way, he turned 18, and he was able to get it somehow. I don't know how. He's just using that money, just, like, living off of it. And again, my mom would get so mad, like, oh, he's leeching off the government. We're not government leeches. We do things the hard way. And it's like, look at him, he's fucking laughing his ass off at you, like, stress-free. You're just, like, always angry all the time because of your job. She's like, we don't take the easy way out, like, and it's just so stupid. This is my, like, probably the only advice, if you can take an easier route to make your life stress-free, fucking take it. Don't be an idiot and try and prove yourself to people, because this is like the thing with hard work. The thing about hard work is, like, it's not exactly like doing it. It's the fact that, you get respect from other people, because I think that's why people work so hard towards stuff. It's to get respect from other people and get them to like you, but at the same time, you're just, like, stressing yourself out. It's not worth it, and even another thing too, some people don't even give a shit. You work hard, and sometimes you have no reward for it. So it's like, who gives a shit? If you can make money, make your life stress-free. Like, she would always get mad too. Like, even at my mom's old job, there would be people who, they wouldn't do shit. They would just sit on their asses and, make other people do work for them. And she'd always be like, oh, they're taking the easy route out. I'm the hard worker. And her saying this shit, like, always be the hardest worker you can. Work hard, go above and beyond. Again, going above and beyond leads you below, because I was watching people at my fucking job. I was running circles around these fucking people. I was doing everything. I was their hardest worker. They even told me that. They're like, oh, we love you. You're our best worker we've ever had in years. And I never got promoted. Everyone else who didn't do shit, who sat on their phones, were getting promoted. I was just fucking sitting there, just like sitting in like this circle of just work hard and I'll make it. If I work hard, I'll get promoted and they'll like me more. And they just thought I was a fucking bigger loser than I actually was. Because, oh, look at this kid. He's working his ass off for pennies. And again, meanwhile, people were coming in making more money than I did. And it was just like such like an aggravating, frustrating experience, And, with the whole disability thing too, it's like, I think, like, the thing with it, too, is, like, I think it's a lot easier to get than people actually say it is, because I've heard, like, oh, it's hard to get disability, for the rest of your life, but I actually don't really think so. Like, I've known a lot of people, like, actively trying to get it and having it, and they're not even old either, so it just makes me question it, even, I was at the mall by myself, which, brutal experience. I don't know. You know, I do these things a lot. Like, I'll go out, touch grass, bro, and venture out and do stuff by myself. And it really leads nowhere. Like, you know, it's just so fucking, like, our generation's done for, you know? Like, there's nothing to do. Like, I might as well just, like, be glued to my house, because if I go outside, it doesn't make a damn difference. Nobody wants to have small talk with you. Nobody gives a flying shit about you. People have, when they're out in public, they have an objective. They want to do something and go home. They don't care about having a 5-second conversation with you. They don't care. Unless, you know, you're some young, beautiful female, you know, then, oh, wow, she's cute, and, you know, that bullshit. But, you know, most men have nothing at all to offer at all. You know, so it's like, why even care about, like, an average guy? And, like, the thing is, like, there's so many of us, like, because I know I'm not alone with this shit. Like, there's so many other dudes that are, you know, going through that, where, you know, you just try everything to, like, be liked by people, and you just end up in the same spot you were in. Yeah, I don't know. You know, going outside, meeting people, no one wants to be met. No one gives a shit. You know, even at the mall, it's just so brutal, you know. And the thing too about, like, you know, some of these stores like Hot Topic, Spencer's, oh my God, never go into those stores ever. They're just don't. Because, you know, I was in Spencer's, I was just like looking around at stuff, and this like young emo couple, and I swear, like, I'm noticing this so much. It's like these kids they'll have, like, you know, they'll be like around my age, they'll be like in their early 20s, and they'll have like dyed hair. The fucking men sound like women, the women sound like men. I mean, I know this is anecdotal, but, like, this is what I'm seeing. Like, I started noticing it like during college, where, like, guys are just starting to sound like girls. Like, they have like too much estrogen in their fucking vocal cords. Like, I don't get it. And I'm noticing, like, more women are having deeper voices. And it's like, I swear to God, like, I won't even know who's talking. Like, this is like the most bizarre part. Like, I'll hear someone talking, and then I'll turn around, and, like, it'll be like some, you know, some tall, high-tier normie with a square jaw and a beard, but, like, I'll think it's a woman talking, and, like, his voice doesn't match his face at all, and I'll be, like, fucking shocked. I'll be like, what the fuck? Because I'm just noticing it, you know? It's just like these guys with, like, these soy estrogen vocal cords that just, like, I don't know. Am I crazy? Like, have any of you guys noticed that? Have any of you guys noticed that, like, more men are sounding like women and more women are sounding like men? It's like it's coming together, and it's like you don't even know who's talking anymore, you know, if you closed your eyes. And I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. And another thing about, like, the whole, like, disability thing, man, is, like, you know, there's this one dude I used to work with at my job who, I mean, I couldn't stand this kid at all. I don't understand how, first off, he lasted till he did, because, you know, it was this emo kid. He had, like, his hair was just, like, swooped over to the side, and it was, like, dyed green on the top, and it looked so stupid, man. But I think he was, like, in his mid-20s. I want to say he was, like, 24, and he didn't work. I mean, he worked there for, like, quite a while, but, like, you know, which, again, you know, I'm just so surprised, because this guy, he would always say, like, I have anxiety, and he worked part-time. You know, his mom would always pick him up and drop him off, and oh man, if this kid gets the disability, we're fucked. Because what he would do, like, I don't, because this is the thing, like, I don't know what was, like, going on in his head. I don't know if he actually was, you know, like, sick in the head or anxious or what, you know, whatever it was. But anytime this kid got asked to do anything, and I mean anything at all, it could have been like, oh, can you move this here? Can you lift this up? Can you blah, 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 blah? He would just start having a panic attack. Like, and it was so cringe to watch. Like, he just put on, like, this whole performance. Like, I can't, my anxiety. And he just start pacing around the store. I need a break. And he'd just walk out and start smoking a cigarette, you know, call his mom up. And I don't know if, because this is like what would happen. Like, and then he'd come back, like, if he was doing nothing, he would just, like, start talking to everybody, be, like, super social. He'd talk you know, he'd start flirting with the girls, even though it's fucking over for him. And then all of a sudden, oh, hey, can you do this? My anxiety's acting up. I can't. And he was trying to get disability. Like, that was like his whole goal. That's why he was working, because he was like basically telling us like, oh, you know, I'm gonna get disability. And trust me, like, everyone like tore this kid to shreds, because like it was just so like embarrassing. Like, everyone was always pissed off. Like, he would just leave, like a 2-man job. He would just get up and leave. My anxiety, I need a break, and walk outside, smoke a cigarette. My anxiety. And yeah, I don't know, it just used to make our bloods boil, because like everyone was like, dude, this fucking kid, man, like, what is he doing? And then he'd come back, you know, start talking to everybody. You know, it's just, and even, you know, I found his Instagram because I looked up his name. Like, I got so curious, and he just makes like cringy TikToks, and the dude, like, I don't buy it at all. Like, this whole, like, you know, because him wanting to get on disability and just putting on this act every time, you know, he got asked to do something, but at the same time, you know, when he wasn't doing anything, he was talking to everybody, and eventually he got fired. But still, you know, I just didn't buy it. Every time, move this, do that. I can't. My anxiety's going off the rails. I can't do it. I can't. My anxiety. Then you know, 5 minutes later, comes back inside, starts talking to all the girls. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? And yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But, and this is another thing about like disability, and then, you know, all that type of stuff. Like, I swear to God, like, loneliness is enough to make like anybody crazy and insane, you know. On top of that, like, getting completely bullied for being ugly, you know, ignored, all that your whole life. It's like there's nothing actually wrong with your brain at all. It's just like your environment has been so garbage, it just drives you nuts. And like, you know, these boomers see that and go, oh my God, there's a chemical imbalance, there's something wrong, oh my God, the pills. And then, you know, it makes you even more nuts, and then you gotta get on disability. Because I feel like, you know, I easily probably could theoretically get on disability. I mean, if I did see another like psychiatrist or doctor, whatever, you know, therapist, they probably just chuck me on antidepressants and all this stuff right away just from hearing me talk. And it's like, I'm not stupid though. Like, I understand that, like, it's my environment. Like, there's nothing actually wrong with, like, my brain. It's just like, dude, if you fucking spend your whole fucking life in your house or, you know, getting bullied, how the fuck can you even be a functioning member of society? Like, you know, it's just, and these kids, like, they don't get it. They don't understand, like, oh, you know, I'm sick in the head. It's like, it's not you, you know, you're not crazy. You're just ugly, you know, and you just had the ugly life, you know. It's just how it is, just how it goes, you know, for these people, and, you know, myself included. And then, you know, they think they're sick in the head and, you know, all anxious all the time, and like that fucking kid I used to work with, and it's just like one disaster after another, and I'm gonna probably make a video about this topic pretty soon. But there's a family friend who, you know, her son is addicted to Xanax and just completely fucked up. Oh my God. It's just like, he was once normal, and the doctor, and she's trying to like sue the doctor and all this stuff. And it's just like a bunch of drama. Like, it's terrible. Like, just hearing it, like, basically, you know, took like a normal young man and just drugged him up to the point where he got addicted, and now he can't work because of it, and he's finished, over, done. You know, he's not even much older than me. Just done, finished, over, you know. Because Xanax addiction, that ain't no joke. Like, he's done. You know, just done, finished, over with. But I noticed like this, where, you know, with our generation, is everybody wants to be a fucking Twitch streamer or a TikToker or this, or, you know, just like be a social media influencer, which, you know, I'm not saying like, oh, you know, don't make TikToks and don't do this. Like, I mean, you could give it a shot, but like, they don't have any backup plan at all. I mean, I know that sounds like a boomer thing, but it's seriously so true. You know, like when I was younger, I wanted to be in a band. I thought like, and this wasn't that long ago, you know, I was like maybe like 15, 16. I thought in my head like, oh, I'm gonna be a rock star. I'm gonna be number one. You know, I had like this delusional thought in my head that I was gonna, you know, do music for the rest of my life and be a rock star, and that's how I was gonna make my money. Screw school, I don't need school. And, you know, it's just so delusional. I didn't even know anybody to make music with. what I was gonna say was, I've pretty much talked about this. At my job, these kids, they want to be like professional game designers and make the next GTA like type of game that just explodes and blows up. And if that didn't work, which it didn't, because they ended up like dropping out the first semester because the game designing was too hard. They're like, oh, it's too hard. We're going to be rappers and producers, and we're going to be producing and we're going to make it that way. It's so insane, man. Like it really is. Like you ask any of them, I'm telling you, like any of them, anyone who's graduating high school or like in their early 20s, oh, I want to be a Twitch streamer. Oh, and get this one cracks me up to death, because, first off, there's like a lot of people that my mom, a lot of other moms that my mom is friends with. I would doubt if like she fucking, tells them like, oh, my son's a loser. He doesn't have a job, doesn't do anything. But, she'll tell me like how their sons are doing. Some of them, just mog me into the third realm. And then other ones, it just sounds like it's so fucking over for, because like, she was telling me like one of her friend's kids, like one of her friend's sons, he's in his mid 20s and he wants to be a Twitch streamer. And he basically, this is the thing, like he makes like, $20 a month or something like that, like from donations. Like he only gets like 20 viewers or some shit, and I don't know why I find it so funny, because it's like I swear like this isn't the first time I've like heard something like this, where like he'll get like a couple bucks a month, like nothing, squat, and he'll be like, oh, it's my career, it's my job to be a Twitch streamer, that's my job. And their parents just like let them live with them. And it's just like so brutal. They're making like literal pennies. It's my job. I even, when I used to make music too, which I never made music for money. I pretty much only did it to, attract girls, which fucking flopped. I mean, I've talked about that way too many times, but the people I would make music with, like some of them, they would have like 500 followers on Instagram, and they would tell me like, oh, music's my job, man. Music's my job. And they would make like, $300 a month off of like, people buying features and like, Spotify plays, which you make like pennies off of that. So it's like, they're making like terrible money. Oh, but it's my career, man. It's my job, man. $300 a month, still living with my parents. It's my job, man. And these people, like, it's just so delusional. Like they're everywhere, I mean, $300 a month, that's not like terrible. At least you're making something, right? But they're like, oh, it's my job, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. Yeah, it's my job. And it's just delusional. Like I understand completely, like I need an actual job. Like some people think, oh, you should do this as your job, but I doubt I'd be able to even do that. And there's always the possibility of just like completely falling off. Like how many times has someone like gotten super popular, like a Twitch streamer, and they're like they just they stop working, they start making like a decent amount of money to live, and then all of a sudden they fall off and they're like making pennies again, and then they're screwed at that point, and they have no backup plan, so they're just finished. But yeah, like I'm telling you, like there's so many people, like it seems like everyone I fucking talk to, like any normie on the street, like oh, I want to be a Twitch streamer. I'm actively a Twitch streamer. I make $50 a month, and it's my job, and I still live with my parents, and I don't fucking know what's over for me. You want to know something brutal? Those extreme jester Twitch streamers, the ones that they don't have it at all. They have no halo effect. They'll pretty much never be successful. What they end up doing is like they end up like degrading themselves so much, like jester maxing so fucking hard. They become like lol cows, and these people, they don't like, they think they're winning. They think, oh, look at all these viewers and donations, oh my god. But in reality, like you're just clowning on yourself. These people like are just preying on your downfall. It's just like so brutal to me, man. Like these guys are just so clueless. They think they're winning, but these people, they're all laughing at you. They don't give a shit about you. They think it's funny, watching you flop and fail at life, with your subhuman ass, and you're just in denial. You're thinking this is a good thing, but no, it's over for you, dude. Completely over. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I just find it like so extremely, extremely brutal. But yeah, I guess that's it. Pretty much it for now. All right, today I want to talk about a couple things. I've been pretty stressed and anxious for like the past maybe month about the whole job situation because
Yo,
I
put
want
on
to say
some
especially
music, dog.
over the past
What'd you have for dinner, dog? Yay. Yo, what kind of name is Pun Orca, dog? That's Dooku ship? Damn. Yo, show me some 6-inch figures, dog, that cost $10,000. Yeah, 375, my bad. It's so cool. Holy shit. Why the fuck is that so expensive, dude? Yo, I'm never paying that much for some plastic, dude. Yeah, no, that's too much, dude. $1,000, dude. That's crazy. So, like, what's so special about this one? Wait, it comes with a comic book? Finish your F-22? What is that? A bowl? Oh, it's like a turret. For your F-22. What? Just breathing, dog. You should do the SR-71. Pardon? Ugh. Ugh. Wait, what the fuck was that? Has two cockpits? 35, 40, dog. Damn. Lockheed? They make missiles too? Yeah, they must make a shit ton of money. There's 1,000 millions and a billion, so...
if he's the kind.
All right.